What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on these analysis. We're going to be looking at MSTY today. So we've been kind of stuck in this range and we kind of fell just below it right now. It looks like we're getting a retest. This is the weekly. So on the daily, we closed underneath, pushed back yesterday when Trump announced that 90-day pause. And now it looks like we're getting a little retest. So we'll see what ends up playing out here. We are on this downtrend that we've seen prior. We've seen this once where we broke out. Nice move to the upside. And we're pretty much repeating that exact move. So let's see if we get that exact same breakout. Maybe get a retest and move up. Last time we broke out, we didn't get much of a retest. We kind of got a small retest here and it took off, but there wasn't there for much time. It pretty much broke out, and within a short period it was already gone. So when we broke out, it was there for about 2, maybe 3 days, and after that it was just gone from there. So let's see if we get something like that. If you're buying MSTY, if you're thinking about doing it, this potentially could be the time. Not financial advice, but this could be the time to accumulate. You can come up with different strategies, whether you want to drip up until maybe halfway, or maybe you drip the whole time. And when I say drip, I'm talking about when you get those dividends, you reinvest them back into MSTY. Maybe you can do that up until you want to sell, or if you're the type that just wants to hold it long term and continue to drip, you can do that. But maybe you drip all the way up to about halfway, or you can do the whole thing and just continue to DCA into it. It's all up to you. And you also have another option that you can do where, it all depends on where you are in your investing career. I would imagine that you must be somebody that's looking to live off of dividends potentially when you're messing with something like MSTY. So maybe you could get those dividends and reinvest them into something that is a little more stable, that you can rely on long term, because MSTY gives you good dividends and stuff, but it's not as reliable and consistent. So maybe you can put it into something like SEHD, JEPI. If you're still young and you are using this and you don't plan on retiring for a while, maybe you can go into something more aggressive, like an aggressive ETF like VUG, or maybe like a 2x S&P 500. Not financial advice. You guys do whatever you want. I'm just coming up with ideas that maybe can resonate with somebody, and maybe they can take that and make a nice little portfolio out of it. But yeah, maybe you can make some money off of these dividends. Maybe you hold it for a short period if it's up to you. I mean, you can hold it for an extended period or for a short period. Depends on your plan and your goal. That's why it's called personal finance. It's always different for everybody. Yeah, there's different ways of going about it, where you can fund an entire portfolio with this because you're getting 100% dividend, something crazy like that. Right now it's showing 235, but I don't think that's right. So you're getting an 82.8% dividend yield, which is amazing. And you can use that and reinvest that into something else and build a whole portfolio out of that. Or you can DCA into this and continue dripping. But make sure you use different tools to kind of see how your portfolio could play out. Use portfolio visualizer. Look at other, yield max ETFs and kind of get an idea for what it's like to be in it for an extended period if you haven't used them before. But let's take a look at the SMAs here. On the daily, we've fallen underneath all three. And on the weekly, we're underneath them. On the Bollinger bands, on the daily, looks like we're getting a nice little bounce off of them. Let's see if we can close back within this range and move up higher to this blue band. And on the weekly, where we haven't touched it yet, we got a little move off of it, and now it looks like we're still potentially heading down to the green band, but let's see if we can turn this thing around and head towards the blue band. But I can definitely see an aggressive move when MicroStrategy and Bitcoin start to take off. You can definitely see a nice move. I mean, from this move here, it gained 125%. And from this move here, we go from here, 140%. So if you go from this, we'll just say from over here, you're looking at the same thing, maybe 145%. Maybe we go past it. If we get an extended rally, maybe we make 145, 150, maybe even 200%. We'll see what happens. So that could play out crazy, because if you're getting an 80 something percent dividend, you're getting about 7% a month, roughly 7.5% a month with this growth. So you gain 140, 150%. And then let's say you're holding it for 6 months, you're getting 6 months worth of 7% every single month paying you out. So, I mean, that's awesome. You're getting an additional 42% paid out to you on top of that 150, 200% that you gained. So it's pretty cool. It's definitely a neat thing. I personally would add it to my portfolio, but a very small percentage. That's kind of how I would navigate it. I'm not crazy about these. I wouldn't go all in on them. And I'm not saying you can't, because you can definitely make money. I've seen people make a ton of money off of these things. So just definitely do your research and make sure you understand how these work and how to navigate them. More than anything, know how to navigate them and come up with the best possible strategy to use these. More than anything else, learn how to use them. Like, it's important to know what it is, but know how to use it. So there are some smart people out there that give out free advice all the time. So just look in every direction that you can possibly think of, and just keep surfing the net. There's a bunch of information, whether it's on YouTube or Reddit. There's a lot of smart people out there that can give you a tip that maybe somebody gave you a start in the right direction, but they didn't give you the full information that you were looking for, and then somebody else can maybe expand on that piece of information that you were looking for. So always look out for new information and more in-depth stuff. On the RSI, it's been dropping down severely on the weekly, and we were trying to make our way back up on the daily, and we fell right back below the moving average, the yellow line. And on the MACD, it looks like we're trying to make our way back up. We'll see how it plays out on the daily. And on the weekly, we've been bearish for the short period right here. So we'll see how things go. I mean, doing technicals on this, I don't know if it matters as much, because it's more so dependent on MicroStrategy. But I definitely think that if you're going to buy it, this would probably be the time to do it. You don't want to be buying up here. You don't want to buy yield max ETFs at the bottom, because yeah, you're getting paid out 80%, but it's 80% of the new portfolio value every single month, and it's decreasing as it's dropping. So yeah, you're getting 80%, but now it's 80% of 30% less, and then it's down, 50%, and now you're getting your 80% based off of that, and so on. So definitely be careful. In my opinion, timing the market is a very, very crucial part when it comes to these ETFs. Not completely, because you can just DCA into them, but if you want to be, I guess, the safest possible, timing these would be key. That's all I have. I think it's definitely a good buy, and I'll see you in the next one.